Hello, everyone. Greetings to you. You're welcome to Prep Class TV. Happy New Year to everyone. Now, this is officially our first video for the year 2023. And on this video, we are going to be diving on a new aspect we just came up as concerns moving to Lithuania. So, this video is practically going to be talking about the residence permit, that is the temporary residence permit for people who come from other countries to work or study in Lithuania. Now, if you check on my other videos, you will see that in the course of talking about other aspects, I've made mention about the temporary residence permit several times. However, this particular video is going to be principally on the temporary residence permit, the process, and also an update that has been made by the Lithuanian government as of 2nd of January 2023. So stay tuned and get every information. So if this is actually your first time of coming across my video, you could hit on the subscription button so that you'll be notified whenever I upload videos. Now let's go into the subject matter. Now, when you're coming here to Lithuania to uh, work or study, basically study, that's where my focus is. If you're coming in as a student, you normally have to get a student visa from a Lithuanian embassy abroad. Now, the student visa is known as the National Visa D. They just call it Visa D. That student visa is valid for 1 year. Now, the visa grants you access into Lithuania as a student. You cannot do any other thing with a visa. You are just coming in for studies. But once you are into Lithuania, you will be directed to go and apply for a temporary residence permit. It is commonly abbreviated as TRP. Now, the purpose for you applying for this document is to give you permission to stay in Lithuania throughout the duration of your study. Let's say, for example, you came in for a master's program which is supposed to last for 2 years. Now, what you were given from your country to come to Lithuania is a student visa, and the student visa is valid for 1 year, which means normally if you want to rely only on the visa, it means you only have to study for 1 year, which is not possible. So once you come into Lithuania, you have to apply for a temporary residence permit, which you'll be given, and on the document, the residence permit, it will show the duration which it will cover you, that is throughout your studies. So in effect, the temporary residence permit comes in to cover your visa. That is when your visa expires, it covers you again to stay for extra duration till your studies ends in Lithuania. So if you came in, let's say 2010, and you were supposed to study from 2010 to 2012, your visa gives you permission only from 2010 to 2011, but the residence permit gives you permission from 2010 to 2012. That's simply the basic thing there. Now, how do you go about getting this document? Trust me, a lot of people have faced problems, confusion. They don't even know where to go. They don't know what to do. They are somewhat frustrated about the whole thing. So, based on my personal experience, I'm making this video so all of you can learn. As a Cameroonian, I'll be making the video, based on my experience as a Cameroonian. However, other Africans and other people watching can listen to it and adapt to their own situation based on their own systems in their countries. Now, you have succeeded to get the national visa, and then you have entered Lithuania and you have started studies, you need to go for the temporary residence permit. Now, what are the documents that you need? You need to compile documents. Just like how you compile documents during the visa process, you need to also compile documents for the temporary residence permit process. This time, you will not be going to the embassy in Lithuania. No, you'll be going to the migration department in Lithuania. So if you are studying maybe in Kaunas or in Mariampole or in Vilnius or in Alytus or in Klaipėda, these cities have the various migration branches there. So you make it easy by applying for the branch in your city. Okay, that's the first thing. Just find out where it is first. It's very important. Why am I saying so? Some people in the course of applying, they usually make mistakes and then they select immigration in another city, which, complicate things in terms of transportation, like increasing your cost of movement. So it's important that you know where the migration in your city is so that you can facilitate movement. And not just that, you being in a particular city and then applying for immigration in another city, there will be some kind of complications. You might go there on the day of appointment and you might be sent back to go and apply for the one that is in your city. I'm going to explain why. However, let's take it from scratch. So, you have arrived in Lithuania, you've started studies, and then in the course of your studies, you need to make sure that you get this document, the temporary residence permit. Now, you need to start compiling documents. So, what are the documents? I'm going to be stating one after the other and how it's supposed to be done. The first and obvious one is your passport, and your passport should carry the student visa in it. One of the procedures at immigration is that when you are applying for the temporary residence permit, you need to be legal in the country. You need to be legal in Lithuania. Legal means you need to have something that shows that you are legally living in the country. And at that moment, the thing that gives you that legal right is the student visa. So they'll check on that. That's the first document. The next document is a mediation number. I'm sure most of you receive mediation number when you're applying for visa. Yeah, that one is passed. This time you'll be getting another mediation number from your school. This is for the case of students. If you are coming in as a worker, your company will give you that. But for students, your school will give you another mediation number. Remember, they don't give you the mediation letter. They prepare the mediation letter, they submit electronically to the immigration department on your behalf, then they give you the number. They always send it through email. So all you need to do is just print the email that contains every information and also the number. That's the second. That one is, there's no problem. The school will handle that and then send to you. However, it's always good to inform them of your time. That is when you want to go for the application for the temporary residence permit, so that they can prepare and send to you. So that's the second. The third one is proof of funds. Proof of funds. Just like how you handle the proof of funds at the visa process, you need to also show proof of funds. Now, as of 2022, the government stated that for you to leave as a student, I don't know for other cases, but to leave as a student, you should have at least half of the minimum wage per month. The minimum wage as of 2022 is 730 euros. 730 euros. So half of that is 365. So it means your monthly expense, your minimum monthly expense is supposed to be 365 euros per month. Okay? So if you can do the math by calculating that amount, 365 multiply by 12 months to see what you have, So the general advice is just have like 4,500 or 5,000 euros in your account. That is in the case where you come to Lithuania and then you open an account and then put your money there. In the case where you are sponsored, your sponsor will have to present his bank statement, okay, and an affidavit of support. Now, if your sponsor is living in another European country, I'm sure they'll have to send the bank statement and the affidavit of support. When they send it over to you, maybe by DHL or whatever means, you need to make sure that the documents are translated from the language in which they came into Lithuanian language. Take note, they need to be translated to Lithuanian language. The translation company will confirm the translation. They will give like a written notice to show that they did the translation. That's all for that. The laws when it comes to someone being your sponsor states that the person can present his bank statement and affidavit of support, or the person can present his employment contract, which shows that he is a full-time worker in one of the European states. That is one of the Schengen states. So when he presents that employment contract, he needs to also present at least 3 or 4 pay slips and the affidavit of support as well. That's for the case where someone wants to present his employment contract. That is your sponsor. So the payslip will be there to show that he is earning this amount monthly. So the immigration can see that this person earns this amount, and from the amount they will know that at least he can take care of you every month for the duration of your study or for at least 1 year. Okay, so that is how it is. So when someone wants to go by the employment contracting and then they send the documents over, you also need to translate them to Lithuanian language. There are a lot of translation companies in Lithuania. You just visit one, they'll take the document based on the language in which they were issued, whether it's in English or another language, they will translate it to Lithuanian language. And then they will confirm it that they did by issuing some kind of notice on each of the translated versions. So you are going to have the original and the translated. That's one document. So now we have 3 gone: the passport, mediation number, and proof of funds. I hope the proof of funds stuff is clear. The next one is health insurance. So you will need health insurance that will cover you throughout the duration of your study. So if you are coming in for a study program that will last for 2 years, you will need health insurance for at least 2 years. That is, it should cover you throughout the duration of your study. Normally, when you applied for visa, you submitted an insurance policy, which is 1 year. But when you come over, you need to buy another one. Given that your period of study is more than 1 year, so your insurance should also correspond with the period of study, or can be above it, but should not be below it. Okay, so that is it for insurance. That's 4, or I don't know, that should be 4. The next one is for people who are below 18 years. You need some kind of written consent from a sponsor or guardian to show that they'll be looking after you. But I'm not sure you'll be below 18. So past that, if you are not below 18, then ignore that. Then you will have a police report, or non-conviction as they call it. Now, this one is a little bit complicated. Now, I'll talk to Cameroonians, to Nigerians, to Ghanaians. Now, if you're coming from these 3 countries, This is what you need to know about the police report or non-conviction, depending on how you score in your country. In Cameroon, we call it non-conviction. So you guys might call it police report, or maybe there's police report and non-conviction. I don't know. However, which of any of them goes, if you're coming to Lithuania and you intend to apply for temporary residence permit, note that the police report or non-conviction is one of the documents. And this is what you need to know. Before you fly over from your country to Lithuania, you must bring that police report or non-conviction when coming. And before you bring it, make sure that it is legalized in your country. For Cameroonians, when you do the non-conviction, it comes out in that small brown paper. You need to take it to Yaoundé to the Ministry of External Relations to legalize it so that it will come out in clean A4. And when they legalize it, I think they usually put stamps behind. Now, it is that legalized one that you need to bring over. Nigerians, I don't know which ministry is representing you out of the country, but when you do your non-conviction or police report, you need to also go to that ministry, the foreign ministry, Ministry of External something in your country, legalize it there as well. Ghanaians, the same thing, your ministry that represents you out, you do the non-conviction, then you go to that ministry to legalize it before coming with it over to Lithuania. That's the first step. The second step is once you are into Lithuania, you need to take that non-conviction again or police report, as you call it, whichever way you call it. You will take it again and go to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Lithuania, in Vilnius, the capital of Lithuania, where it will be legalized to a second time. The purpose for the second legalization is to make the document recognized in Lithuania. When it was legalized in your country, for example, Cameroon, it made it recognized in Cameroon, in the whole of Cameroon. For Cameroonians, let me explain something. When you do that non-conviction, it comes out with that small paper. It is only recognized within that municipality where you are. Note that. But when you take it to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, it is recognized throughout Cameroon. When you bring it out of Cameroon to a country, you need to legalize it in that country so that it should be recognized in that country. So that's what you do with that non-conviction. If you don't legalize it in your country, in the ministry of your country, and then you bring it like that, they will not legalize it here. Take note. So it's actually two legalization, one in your country, and then when you come to Lithuania, you go to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Jitumo Vaisganto, Jitumo 2 Vaisganto, that's the address, in Vilnius. If you're living in Vilnius, then it'll be easier. You go there and then you legalize it. Also note that when you're going to that ministry, you need to book appointment online. You can go online and check Ministry of Foreign Affairs Vilnius. There is a section for legalization of documents. You create your account. After creating an account, you now go into your account, sign in, book appointment. Select your day and a time slot, and make sure to be there on that day and at that time. Since you're going for legalization, you need to present the document, the original of the document, a letter addressed to the legalization department of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Vilnius, Lithuania. In that letter, you explain the purpose or the reason why you want that document legalized. Is it for temporary residence permit or is it for another thing? You explain it in that letter, very short, formal letter. And then you also include your contact details there, like your email and phone number. At least you must have bought a SIM card in Lithuania by that time. It's obvious. So you have the original document, a letter where you explain all that, and then Proof of payment. Note this, they don't accept cash at the legalization department in venues. So if you have a bank card, sweet. If you don't have a bank card, you can make the payment in a post office in Lithuania, any post office branch. You just go there and say that you want to pay for legalization of your document, and then they will do the transaction for you. But you need some details to present to them so that they will make the payment to go to the appropriate account of the legalization department. So when they do the payment for you, you take the receipt, go. That's for those who don't have bank card. Don't go there with cash because they will tell you they don't accept it and they will not do the legalization. They do it right there on the spot. Right? So if you have a bank card, just go there. Once it's been done, you just slot your bank card and then it's done. If not, you pay before you go. Pay at any post office, take the receipt of payment, then go. Okay, so that's it for the non-conviction. Hope it's clear. Then the next document should be we have the next one, proof of accommodation. You need to present documents to show where you are living. If you are a student and you are living in one of the student dorms, then don't bother about that. The school will handle that. They will provide you with accommodation documents, which you just need to go and present there. All right, so there's no problem. But if you are living out of a student dorm, like you are renting in a private residence, then make sure that you see your landlord to issue some kind of document to you to show that you are living in his house or in her house, if it's a man or woman, and then he should sign and stamp it, something to make sure that it's at least authentic. Then take it there. There's no big deal about that one. That one is not your problem. It's supposed to be handled by the authority under whose house you are staying. In case where you stay in the student dorm, then the school is the authority. They will provide it for you. If you're living out there in a private residence, then whoever owns it will do that for you. Yeah. So that's it. And I think the last thing is they pay the fee for the temporary residence permit. So there are two situations. There is the general situation and then there is the urgent situation. The general case is 120 euros, while the urgent case is 240 euros. And the duration for the residence permit for the general case is 3 months, 90 days, while for the urgent case is within 45 days. Within 45 days, like that's like 1.5 months, but that's within. It can take, maybe 30, maybe 40, maybe 20. And for the general case, it can take within 3 months. It might come out in 2 months or stuff like that. All right. So these documents need to be ready. All of these they need to be ready before you want to even book appointment for the immigration. Very important. You need to get all of them ready and authentic. Don't carry any fake document. Please don't try it. Never try. Don't even think about it. Okay. So once these documents are ready, you will now go to the immigration website. It's called Migris or Migracia, migracia.lt. You will go there. You need to book appointment. And in the course of booking the appointment, you need to fill a form online. And you fill that form, put in your details, phone number and all that details. Ask you some kind of questions, you fill them. And then in the course of filling that form, you come to a point where you need to upload soft copies of all these documents which you have talked about. Passport scanned. You scan the information page and the page that contains the visa and even the stamps as you were traveling from your country to Lithuania. The immigration number, the document that contains the number. No, I don't think that one is there. There's a space where you just write the immigration number. So you don't scan that one. You scan your passport, you scan your insurance, the two insurance, or the two insurance, at least it should be two, so that it covers you throughout the period of your study. You scan all the documents, your non-conviction, make sure it's legalized twice by your ministry in your country and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the others which we mentioned. You scan all of them because you upload them in the course of filling that online form. After uploading, now you go to the last stage, which is booking appointment, where you select a date and time. Now, note this: when you're booking appointment for migration, if you're booking appointment in this January that we are, note that that appointment will be the following month, February. If you're booking in February, note that the appointment will be in March. So, to avoid any problems, make sure that all your documents are set, complete, so that when you book your appointment, you go there, they will not ask you to go. Because if they check and one document has a complaint, then it means that you have to book another appointment, which will be in the following month again, and that's waste of time. That's why I recommend that before you go, all your documents should be authentic, very, very authentic. So that's it. So when you go there, um, also there are some migration departments that do not accept cash. They don't accept cash. They only accept payment by bank card. So the recommended means of payment is by bank card. However, there are some that accept cash, like the one in Kaunas. You can pay with cash. You go there, there's a machine there that accept the cash payment. However, all the immigration departments accept bank cards. So that is why it is the recommended means of payment and most convenient as well. Use your bank card and then you apply. You pay. So that's it. So that is the process for the residence permit, the temporary residence permit, not permanent, please. Temporary residence permit, TRP. So this process, which I've explained to you, is what used to be. But as of 2023, 2nd January, there is an upgrade, or let me say update. There's an update of the residence permit process in Lithuania. So, guys, the situation has changed as of January 2nd, 2023. The process is now being facilitated even. Why am I saying facilitated? At first, it was very tedious, coupled with the fact that you have to go through a lot and then also have to wait for at least 2 months before you get this document. Note that it is with this document that you can work. Without it, you cannot work. You cannot do anything. You can only just go to school. So you'll just be going to school studying only. So it was really complicated at first, but then the government has seen into it and they are trying to make up amends. And these amends came into effect on 2nd of January. This is January 2023, and it will run as from that time till whenever they deem it necessary to change it or what. Now, what are the changes that they have done? They are trying to make it easier now for those who are still out of Lithuania. That is, they are still abroad. You are in Cameroon, Nigeria, or wherever. When you are applying for the national visa, you will automatically be applying for the residence permit at the same time. That is a temporary residence permit. You will automatically be applying for it at the same time. So if it happens that the decision for your visa comes positive, that is, if they give you the visa, you the process for the temporary residence permit will also be in effect. The immigration department will just be working on it. So once you get the visa and then you fly over, you have maybe maximum 2 weeks. You move straight to the immigration department and then get your temporary residence permit. You know, that makes it very fast as compared to those who, as compared to before, where some people would take 5 or 6 months before they get that residence permit. But this time, it is going to be very easy. So for those of you who are still planning to come to Lithuania, just note that the process now is going to be facilitated. However, these documents which I mentioned are going to be the same, but you'll be working with immigration now from your country. So that before you get to Lithuania, you might just go straight to the Department of the Immigration and then get your residence permit. Okay, so that's the basic update about it. I know you might have questions like how are we going to apply for it from our country? That's not your problem. You don't need to bother. The embassy is going to explain the whole thing to you for so that you know what to do. In case your visa comes, like if you are issued a visa, but if you're not, then I'm not sure they'll bother explaining everything to you. So that is simply what I had for you guys today. So thank you for watching. And if you have any question, please you can drop it on the comment. And if you haven't subscribed, please just hit on that red button there and click on the bell so that you'll be notified whenever we drop any video. All right. Thank you so much for always watching. Have a blessed day or night. Bye bye.